hello to all.
Hey,
I
everybody.
I am Andrew.
He sure is, and I'm the other one.
That one's Drew.
Sure is. We
Three
got.
three videos in, and I still haven't got you to say the words "I'm Drew."
We'll get there.
It'll be a special. It'll be an event.
It'll be. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Three, that means the next one's our fourth one, 4 weeks. It's a month. It can be our 1 month special, as me saying my
One
name.
month, our 1 month anniversary.
Ooh. Don't say it like that. We got a special one, though. It's like 12:30 at night, and
Yes,
Andrew's doing fine.
but Drew is running on like
We're on
half
fumes here.
capacity.
Yeah. So get ready for those late night thinky thoughts from my mouth. Do we do anything else
Yep.
at the beginning here?
I don't know.
I don't
We
think
could
so.
ask them how their week was.
I
How
think that would
was
be shitty.
How was no? Yeah, okay. Well, then we won't. I don't. We don't care what how your
How
week
would they
was, honestly.
answer?
Well, you said to assume we've already got viewers.
How would
They
they
could. They
answer?
could.
This is a recorded thing. They can't like send it in live.
They comment in the comments, and then we respond because we're good admins.
Yeah, I probably should have talked to you about this before saying it, but I got an idea.
Okay,
If there's any topics that you all out there want us to talk about, post a comment.
that's how they do that in the real world, isn't it? That's how these people do their things.
Yeah, so just if you got anything, and I do mean anything, send it. And
Yeah,
even if it's something like, hey, I saw this crazy movie from Venezuela that I want you guys to watch and talk about. We'll watch a movie from Venezuela. I have nothing against the Venezuelans.
no, no. Yes, no, we'll do it like that. Okay, that could be kind of a segue into some of the stuff we have done. So one day in the college days, we literally spent several hours scrolling through YouTube because you can find classic old gross monster movies on there, like ones you've never heard of.
Hmm.
So everyone knows of Godzilla, but we consider ourselves fans of Gamora, who is Godzilla, but a turtle. And one of the bad guys that we saw Gamera fight was this rhino bug lizard that could shoot missiles out of his head and also acted as like a speedboat and could fly.
But the
It was,
missiles, the missiles were thorns, and when they
yes,
landed in you, they injected little versions of the beast
yes.
into you. Little
And
in the scale of like Japanese monsters being like the
right.
size of minivans, but still.
And then like Gamera gets injured and these kids in a boat literally sail
Down
into
his
him because
throat.
he's so massive. And then the scientists conveniently have a map of Gamera's innards, like the episode of Magic School Bus where they go into Arnold's stomach. That's basically this. So yeah, if you got weird movies, we will watch
I
weird
love
movies.
weird movies.
Which version of which knockoff version of the Creature from the Black Lagoon did we watch where he like chops off
Oh,
somebody's head, or he walks out of a convenience store holding somebody's head? But
yeah.
like it was horrible, but it's on YouTube because it's so horrible.
Yeah, it was made in the like, oh God, third 40s?
So something like that.
Something like that. But yeah, there was a scene in it where we were kind of lost because the creature guy was hiding from the police,
He knew
and
well enough to hide from the cops.
yeah, not only that, but he was hiding in a building that two cops went in and they couldn't find him.
Hmm.
And then they left, and then like a couple minutes later he comes out with a dude's head and like,
Yep.
yeah. Uh
Yeah, we'll watch movies.
we'll watch
We'll talk about
movies.
everything. We'll offer our opinions on anything you you good people want us to.
Almost anything. There are
Oh,
some,
it's within reason.
yeah, there are some breakfast foods we don't really talk about.
Yeah, no, the plaid ones we
Mm.
don't care for those.
But anything
They aren't
else, really?
anything else. So okay, so the topics I have brought,
Yes, what you got for me today?
I thought it'd be interesting since we you said in our first video it's been a full year since we were told at school that we would not be coming back,
Correct.
and it's now it's just been almost a month
Just about.
now since the world fell apart.
Mhm.
So I have apocalypse based questions since we
Ooh.
kind of have now lived through all the versions of an apocalypse.
Yeah. All but zombies.
All the zombies and AI and giant lizards. Um,
Hmm.
so my question is, which apocalypses, like the full on ones,
Yeah.
do you think you are best suited to survive? And I'm talking like most of them, but like they're not all connected, kind of like what we had last year. Like
Hmm.
it's either like you have a list. We have like the 2012 ones where
Right.
it's every version of a natural disaster at the same time. We
Right.
have zombies, and of course there are subcategories for zombies because there's different kinds of zombies.
Right.
We have I guess maybe like a the geostorm one where like the weather
The
just
weather
takes over, but
happens.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, like the weather just like the day after tomorrow,
That's a
like
better example.
right, yeah, because that's kind of connected to 2012, but not quite.
Hmm.
And then of course there's just uh
There's
no,
a
there's
bunch.
the ape uprising, robots, aliens,
Yeah.
and so on and so
Yeah.
forth.
There's a bunch.
So which do you think you are the most suited to survive?
I mean, right off the bat, not to like try and be cheesy or whatever, I think a pandemic I would be most well suited to survive.
Hmm.
Simply because I want to say 98% of my life in the room that I'm in now.
Right,
And if it can be avoided, I don't ever leave.
right.
So if I didn't have to eat, I would never leave this room. Um, so I think that one would be top of the list.
That's fair.
Um,
I would also say you probably aren't entirely ill suited for particular versions of zombies or aliens
that's what I
because
was gonna roll into next. Do you know the show Revolution?
I do not.
It was on CBS in like 2016 or something. I think it only ran for one season because it was garbage. I don't know. Um, but that was a scenario where all of the like global power grid all went down at the same time and there was no way to get it back up.
Ooh,
I think I could do that one because the low level tech, all the, like flashlights and stuff that didn't require a global power grid, stuff that was battery based, all of that still worked.
hmm,
And that's the stuff that I know how to like tear apart and work on and improve and shit.
hmm.
Um, Guns still worked and stuff like that, and really just society evolved into like the factions that you see in the zombie. It was basically a zombie apocalypse minus the zombies.
Hmm.
Governments shut down, and there was no more order or no more law. I think that's something that I could handle. It has
Yeah,
all of
I
the
think you'd be fine.
yeah, it has all the techie stuff that I'm good at without the with it still being an apocalyptic event.
Okay, but in that situation,
Hmm.
you are ideally placed in a lot of ways because you live kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yes, I do.
But if it's what you say and it's like all the tech goes down,
Hmm.
what would you do first? Like, how would you become aware of that? Because you do not have the tech to check into the situation.
Yeah.
I'm assuming maybe the old classic key radios would still have stuff.
It really depends on how you look at how it goes down. Because if it's like the power grid goes down,
Mm,
that means we would be fully out of power. However, vehicles and their radios would still work. So as long as there's
okay.
a signal being transmitted, and like generators and stuff, there'd be buildings that could still hold power. So there'd be
Okay.
some way to get emergency messages out.
So you'd figure it out and you just kind of settle in there.
Settle in, yeah. Find out like well, first off, in that kind of situation, and with most apocalyptic situations, what you need to have um outside of the classic, foods and waters and stuff, you gotta have gasoline
Hmm.
because that'll make generators function, that'll make vehicles function, and all that stuff isn't like a necessity, but it makes everything else so much easier.
Right.
So I'd go as soon as I figured it out, get as much gas as I could. I live on a farm and we have two, like, I don't know how big they are, but huge gasoline barrels that are out on our property. Big metal tanks that we normally get filled. I'd get them bitches as full as I could. And then try and get a generator up and running and inside and, hooked up without running it. Probably learn real quick the best ways to preserve foods without doing any freezing or anything like that, because you would want to work without power as much as you could. And yeah, just kind of settle in. There wouldn't be a lot of adventuring to that one.
Yeah, that's probably best, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But see, when I put myself in these situations, because it's like a fun brain exercise
Yeah.
to imagine what you would do. I find myself having to put myself in different situations than what I'm actually in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I find the fact that I've got like family around, like enough of it where I feel like it's more of a problem.
Right.
Because like, in movies, when you've got family, you kind of join together and then it's more problematic because there's a lot of people to worry about. So I like thinking of myself as if I'm a solo unit in
Right.
these situations because I feel like that's the most accurate idea of imagining how I would survive.
Sure.
And I honestly don't know how I do in a lot of them, but I feel like in the zombie one on my own, I may be okay.
Mm-hmm.
If because I feel like I can go a long time without eating and I'm small, so I can like fit and hide in places,
Mm-hmm.
crap like that. But it depends on the kind of zombies.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody could ever survive the World War Z zombies.
I see that's exactly what I was gonna say. The World War Z zombies are like my least favorite kinds of zombies because they embody everything that's horrible about zombies, but then they can run.
Yeah, they don't have the
Like
downsides of being a zombie.
yeah, like those are like the peak zombies because the classic ones are like the Walking Dead ones, which are horrible because everyone's infected.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone could just die and then you've got another one. But then you have like the 28 days later, which are, you get bit and you immediately turn, but they're kind of limited as like a person. The World War Z zombies, they're so ridiculously rabid
Yeah.
that they're doing things that like no person could do. Like if they were, I mean, you don't know what happens to the body, I guess, when it's all zombified, but like it'd be funny if they reacted more in vain to how a regular person was. Like when they jump over that wall,
Mm-hmm.
instead of still being able to crawl, just like, oh, they're crawling over the
Yeah.
top. But like, who cares? They're gonna land and die.
Yeah, there's something to be said about the zombie films that make it out so like as long as the brain is intact, the body can still move. It's like
Mhm.
the you see a zombie who gets decapitated and it can still like talk and bite.
Yeah, like it's still moving its jaw and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, fuck that.
Ugh, zombies.
Now I do raise you. I Am Legend zombies.
I don't even know. Okay, I was doing research on those.
Uh-huh.
I think those are their own thing because those are basically zombie vampires.
Mm-hmm.
They feed on blood. They are attracted to blood. They have a scientific photo sensitivity, light sensitivity thing. In the book, though, those are vampires. In the movie, the most recent one, they made them more like our classic zombies, but they are absolutely physically enhanced.
Are they intelligent?
Well, okay, we're gonna get it. This is gonna be a tangent, everybody. This I Am Legend tangent. So the way the movie that was released in theaters goes, it ends with our scientist sacrificing himself for the two people who showed up in order to deliver the antidote to the colonies that have survived. And he just blows them all up. But the whole there's a completely different ending because the whole movie is setting up this idea that the big main leader, it seems, of this horde of dark seekers, they're called, Um, they're very loosely implying that he is going after uh, the scientist because he took his mate or his daughter, and the scientist doesn't pick up on it. He is recording in his like daily log that one of the dark seekers like intentionally walked into sunlight, proving that like they have no intellect of any kind. Like they're ignoring their basic instincts. So like all human attributes are gone. But like as a viewer, you're like, well, wait a minute, he clearly looked angry. Like he did that because you stole someone that mattered to him. And that the alternate ending of the movie is Trevor puts that together, opens the door, and the main big bad Darkseeker actually prevents the other ones from attacking him so that he can take his mate back. And it is he realizes like, yes, there's actually a sliver of humanity left in them, but they changed the ending, and all of that is completely gone. They didn't edit the rest of the movie to line up with that. They set it up this whole time that there's a misunderstanding and there's potential, and they cut it off at the knees. And I don't know why. I have no idea why.
Interesting. I don't know if that makes that feeling better or worse, knowing that there's still humanity left.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's still creepy. It's still weird and gross, but the fact that the movie was setting it up
Right.
just to undo it, it just felt more hollow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just
Because
you,
there's the you
you
go ahead.
I was talking more in the like the zombie like I don't even know what to say. The psychology of dealing with a zombie apocalypse
Hmm.
where as soon as you can accept that they're no longer human, it's much easier to live with what you have to do to survive.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But if you find out that there's some humanity left, that's gotta fucking wreck your morale.
Hmm. Oh, very much so, because he's killed a lot of them.
Yeah.
But like even if they were, let's just assume it wasn't going to be that he cared for the mate or the daughter, or whatever the heck. I actually don't know the relationship between those two, but they clearly operate differently than zombies, even the World War Z zombies, because the part with the dogs, he's
Mhm.
the main dark seeker, he's holding them back like with leashes, and he waits to let them go at a certain point in time. That is more thought in
Yeah.
just that moment than any zombie ever. And then when he attacks his home, he is roaring and giving orders to the rest of them. So I would not, even though they you might throw that movie in with zombie movies, I would not categorize them as zombies or vampires. They're like something on their own. They're
I need to
just unique movie monster of their own making.
I need to watch that movie again. It's been a long time.
It's rough, man. That movie messed me up for a while, but it is. I would, other than that ending, I'd say it's very good. It's heartbreaking. I feel in all the right ways.
Giant lizard attack.
Giant lizard attack. I feel like we are uniquely protected from that if it comes from the
Yeah.
ocean. We got the landlocked thing, which is why I enjoyed Godzilla King of Monsters so much because we find out there's monsters
Everywhere,
everywhere.
right?
Like that's
Yeah.
something about Godzilla that's existed since the originals. He's an ocean creature that comes up and messes with some islands, some coastal areas. That's the whole point of Pacific Rim is that they're all on coastal areas, and it was a cool thing they explored where like beachfront mansions have been abandoned because everyone wants inland property, but for like mountains and stuff to just suddenly stand up and King of Monsters, like that was fun.
Yeah. I think that we are this like you said, the landlocked being in Ohio, that's the best. For me, I live in the country and no lizard is gonna they always attack big cities, right? They
Hmm.
want to they want
Hmm.
to kick down skyscrapers and step on buses and shit. And there ain't no
Hmm.
skyscrapers here. If
Yeah,
you want to
no, there's
like
not.
if Godzilla wants to take a vacation and roll around in a field, then I might be fucked. But until
Hmm.
then, I think that's an apocalypse that I would personally be have high chance of surviving. At least the start. Once he gets bored and wants to go hunt, then I'd be a little less good.
Yeah,
But
I feel like okay. So that actually, let's go. I think that's a fun. Let's go through the movies
okay.
and we'll think which one. Let's just say you and I. Well, maybe we'll throw in our old roommate.
Hmm.
We'll just say we'll plop down that apartment, kind of where it is,
Sure.
and we'll go through the movies. Now, we'll start with some of the tamer ones. 2012. I think we're dead.
There's
We
no
we
way.
don't we don't know. We don't have the connections,
Mm-mm.
and
We don't have the gusto.
we don't have the gusto. We wouldn't know where to go. We wouldn't have the info. We wouldn't. We would die. So
Yeah.
2012, we're dead. Day after tomorrow, if we had the information, I feel like we would book it.
Uh-huh.
But Ohio was one of those states that got absolutely wiped out by the ice. And I feel like if we weren't aware of it and we decided to stay, dead,
Yeah.
easily dead.
Yeah. I think being in Ohio, there's just nowhere to go
Yeah, because yeah,
quick
they
enough.
what is it? I don't remember how far south that line was in the movie where he said everyone has to evacuate to south of this line.
Hmm.
Ohio was well above that line,
Absolutely.
so we dead. Um, Independence Day, far enough away from the city. I think we'd be fine.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to remember we live fairly close to Dayton, which has a very large Air Force base, which would be
Oh,
a
you're
large target.
right. Good point. Hmm. I'd say that's a
That's a big maybe. That's a toss
60,
up.
60, 40, 60,
Hmm.
40, especially if we stayed indoors.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. In that situation, where would we go?
Uh,
If we had to leave somewhere, where is it we're going?
yeah, I always find like you want to go to the most civilized um place in the middle of nowhere that you can. So some town that is like, it's got all the necessities
Right.
without being overly populated,
Hmm.
and there's plenty of options. And
Okay.
fuck, I mean, in southern Ohio, being as rural as it is, you can just
Yeah.
pick one and be fine. You
Yeah.
just got to get
Honestly.
far enough away from the large cities.
Hmm. Okay. So I am legend, assuming we're all immune.
Assuming we're all immune.
We don't have the resources that he had to protect himself from those things because those things hunt.
Yeah, because they hunt and yeah, if we could like get away, no, I don't think so. I don't think we have
Yeah,
any like safe house that would be
we
good
have to
enough.
pick up on it. Like there's a learning curve that comes with these things, and we don't have the
Hmm.
movie knowledge going into it. We would okay, going off of that,
Yeah,
Quiet Place.
dude, there's no way.
You don't think so?
No, there's
What if
no way.
what if what if somehow it it occurred far away enough that by the time it got to us, we knew the deal? Do you think we could live quietly? There'd be no way we wouldn't be looking for ways to beat them. There'd be no way to fight them. But do you think we could survive quietly?
Um, I want to honestly, I still think no because it's such a simple thing to mess up
Yeah, it's true.
that it's as simple as like eating your food wrong can get you
Hmm.
killed. And I don't think we have the discipline required.
Fair point. All right, so we lost that one.
Yeah.
I feel like there's one we already talked about that I've not. Oh, World War Z, dead.
And,
But at the same time, what if one of us is sick and we don't even know it?
oh, how's that make it easier?
Well, remember, like the weird thing about those zombies is they can pick up on a body, they can pick up on someone who is ill, and they will not infect them.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched any of these movies. Fuck.
Right?
Um,
Like, what if one of us actually has something that's it's not causing us any long-term issues, but we're just not aware of it, but maybe they are.
hmm. I mean, in that very specific case, maybe one of us survives, yes. Um, but overall, no. I mean, with World War Z, I don't know how anybody fucking survives that,
Yeah.
to be real.
Okay. Oh, Planet of the Apes. Assuming we're immune to the simian flu.
Um, we'd make good pets.
Suppose that's true. It'd be interesting. I feel like
Yeah.
it would be very it would depend because that virus also mutated. It took out everybody.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one of the newest.
Oh, there's three now. Like those are great.
Oh, well, I've only seen the first one.
Okay, well we'll put a pin in the
Yeah, we'll
apes.
pass that
We'll
one
come
up.
back. We'll come back to the apes. So like in 6 months, we'll reference this video. What's another good apocalypse? Oh, you know a good one that's would the only one that would actually cause issues for you where you are right now?
What's that?
Signs, the M. Night Shyamalan alien movie.
Uh,
No, that's a
I know
classic.
of it. I don't think
So
I've
like
seen it.
it like they put like it's aliens
Uh-huh.
and they have ships floating over every city and whatnot,
Right.
but they send out scouts and individuals to lots of places, like mostly like they actually go on the ground to fight hand to hand at like people's residence because they don't want to damage the planet with an actual war. So
Oh, so they
it's
start in the small towns and then work their way out.
kinda, yeah, like so the
Interesting.
whole movie takes place just in this guy's farmhouse, and like he has one of the fields that has a crop circle in it, and two or three of the aliens try to break in and take them on, but they won't use like extreme force.
Hmm.
So you having a farmhouse, if you were one of the places to have a crop circle, you're
That'd be it, yeah.
you're ground zero for the alien invasion.
Yeah.
So that one would affect you more than some of the other ones.
Yeah. When it comes to stuff like that, I am so slow to violence. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing in these kind of situations.
I
Because
think
with
in
it,
some of these it's horrible.
yeah, in some of these, like anything zombie-y or, anything like that, or if it's aliens who truly intend to wipe out the planet,
Hmm.
there's no way I would fight back in time. But if it was
Right.
something where they were just trying to control the planet, I would very quickly give up and just say, "Yeah, yeah, you got it. Cool. Whatever I can do to live will be the best."
Well, see, I think in part to your slow to violence, you'd be the character in the movie that would be so not overwhelmed with the fear and paranoia and aggression that you could pick up on the subtle things that other characters don't. Like like in Arrival, for instance. That's not even an apocalypse movie, but like there are people who are panicked and paranoid about the aliens, so they misinterpret things that could be taken many different ways. You'd be that
Right.
one to be like, well, wait a minute, maybe they meant hello, and
Yeah.
be like, what? So I
Yeah.
feel like that's a good point. To be thoughtful about things is probably good because if they have the potential to wipe us out, they're gonna wipe us out. There's nothing
Hmm.
we can do. Like I applaud the fun like cinematic experience of Independence Day, but the fact that we took them down with a computer virus that existed in the 90s,
Hmm.
no. I feel like you probably
Stuxnet
couldn't
is
do
not
that.
gonna do that.
Yeah, I feel like you couldn't do that to a real computer that existed now, honestly.
Right.
Like I know nothing about computers, but if an alien shows up and it wants to take us out, it's gonna take us out. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
You might as well give it a shot trying to be cool first.
I think my rule of thumb for surviving apocalyptic events is if it is something that takes down the society and my only challenge is doing like typical survival stuff, I would be fine. If it's something where I am put up against something in a combat sort of situation, whether that be, warring factions or zombies or monsters or anything like that, that's when it gets a little rough. Because
Mm.
I've I know how to handle a gun and things like that, so I could hunt effectively, but my mental like my willingness to hurt other people is so low that I wouldn't be able to um properly, fight against people in the way that like The Walking Dead's fucking nuts with that kind of shit.
Hmm.
Where people just kill people always. I would immediately, hands up, hey, you're a person, I'm a person, let's be people and survive together.
You die.
Yeah, and especially in The Walking Dead's case, there's no, that'd be it.
Because that's like the whole point of what the show ends up being is that the real monsters are people.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone that like Rick's group meets, other than like two groups, everyone is evil. Everyone
Yeah.
is horrible, and everyone is just they get to the point in that show where yeah they kill everyone they meet because it's safer.
Mm-hmm.
But see, in my when I think of myself in Walking Dead scenarios, I feel like if I were on my own, kind of like like Jesus's character, where he's just kind of running from place to place at first
Hmm.
and just thinking of cool ways to survive and stuff like. So if I were on my own doing that, I had to move from place to place. One of the first places I'd actually think to scavenge, because I feel like it's a place no one would have thought of, would be a thrift store or like a Goodwill store, because sometimes they have gardening sections
Hmm.
with seeds for vegetables and stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to go start like my Martian garden somewhere.
Yeah, you want to go to the like not the big stores. I've always thought a good target that it may be popular, but it'd probably be in the second wave of being rated is sporting goods stores.
Oh, yeah, because they've got weapons.
They've got weapons, and depending on how big it is, there could be some rifles and stuff there as well. But
Hmm.
even in smaller ones, you have like bows and fishing supplies, which are big.
Hmm.
Plus, so many camping supplies, which
Oh yeah.
are the best.
You know, it'd be a cool place to go to that I don't think people think about enough.
What's that?
IKEA.
I mean,
Just go and live there.
you could survive in there for a while.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and you got plenty of like materials there to build shit.
Exactly, and it's huge.
Hmm.
You just have to maybe weed out the ones that might have been in there to begin with.
They might have been in there well before they knew an apocalypse was going off.
'Cause you get lost in there. You could walk into an IKEA and the world would be regular. You'd come out, zombie apocalypse. Okay, now I have a follow-up question. Unless you have
Absolutely.
a follow-up question.
Um, I have one, but it completely changes the subject. So we'll.
Okay. Mine kind of is. I want to go off of what you just said about your willingness or your unwillingness to hurt a person
Hmm.
and take us from apocalypse to dystopia.
Okay.
We'll say you're a Hunger Games tribute.
Hmm.
What like how long do you think you'd make it? And I'm thinking classic first movie,
Yeah.
forest terrain, like we know the arena, we know the deal.
Yeah.
And we'll just say you're not District 1 or 2. You didn't grow up training to kill people. You're
Right.
you got picked. It sucks. And we'll
Which
say you're
one?
you're you're as old as you can be. We'll say you're 18.
Which one does livestock? Four,
God, it's been so
three?
long. I have no idea.
It's four or three, I think. Because well, yeah. Because what's her name? The kid
Rue?
Rue is from four, right?
Wasn't that
And
was like
she
fruit.
does,
That was
yeah, which is
yeah.
live or crop farm kind of stuff.
Yes. Yes.
So I think it was three, but anyway, um, yeah, man. If it were me, born and raised the way that I was, and thrown in now, kind of a thing, or 18, like you said,
Hmm.
man, there's no way. Because my instinct would be to do what I can to survive and just wait until the end.
Hmm.
But there's I'm a techie guy. I didn't focus on learning what leaves I could eat and which ones I couldn't.
Uh-huh.
I think I could hunt effectively with a weapon, but I also don't know what I would be able to eat and not. Like if I kill a bird, is a songbird, is eating it gonna be better than not eating it, or is eating it gonna actually be worse than not eating anything at all?
Right.
I am athletic. I did do 8 years of cross country,
Hmm.
so I have that going for me. And like I said, I know how to work around a rifle and a bow. I've done archery as well. So getting my hands on one of those golden weapons, and I'd be in a better place. I know you can eat squirrels and rabbits, so there's a start.
Hmm.
Um, if I could get away, hide, and wait until the end, I could probably bring myself to kill a person or two to survive.
Okay.
If I were in a situation where I would have to kill and kill and kill and kill, I would eventually just probably give up and say, like, I'm not doing it anymore. I don't know if I'd, do the PETA, take some berries, call it a day kind of a thing. Um, but yeah, I've thought about that and it's fucking rough. I don't want to. I wouldn't want to. And I know that's kind of the point, but I truly don't know where my limits are. I've never been in a situation where I've had to kill anybody.
Right, right. Of course, like
So,
it's kind of weird to put yourself in that situation, but
yeah.
see, and I have no idea,
Hmm.
like in my case, like none, because I don't know if I'd get there and something in me would snap, and I'd be like, oh,
Right.
I'm gonna do it. Like I'm ready. I'm gonna focus. I got this. I'm gonna do everything or whatever. I go full Rambo, or if I'd completely implode and
Shut down.
I'd step off the pedestal thing like before and just blow myself up. Like I'm not doing this because
Yeah, that's a
I
way.
don't have the athleticism.
Hmm.
I don't have the weapon knowledge. I don't have the hunting knowledge. I have very bare minimum Boy Scout knowledge, and you're not even supposed to do some of that stuff because like making a fire then attracts people, and then
Right.
then you're dead. Like I have no idea. I feel like I'd be easy pickings is what I'd be.
But you have an incredibly likable personality. You may get some
Uh,
donations.
you're right. I'm a personable person. You've said that.
Yeah,
So I feel like maybe I would be exactly what Peter was. I'd
maybe
try
so.
to win the hearts of the people. I'd
Hmm.
hide. I feel like I would definitely hide. I'd find places to hide and I'd wait.
Yeah.
Um, but then in the end, if it comes down to how horrible it is, I'd probably do the berries. Okay, it's
Mm-hmm.
also possible if I didn't know what those berries were.
You might have just snacked on them.
Yeah, see, but then that's the opposite. Like I could be surrounded by 65 different kinds of berries, and I could know that 64 of them were good to eat. I'd probably avoid all of them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat any of them because I grew up being told all the time, like you see those red berries on trees and bushes, don't eat those, they'll make you
Never
sick.
do.
So I never would just eat berries that I found. So
Yeah.
I'd probably like in the book they're there for like I think 2 weeks or a week and a half. In the
Hmm.
movie it's like 3 days. But if it was like a week and a half, I might just end up dying of starvation because I wouldn't know how to eat anything.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of my thing too. I would anything that's not a raspberry or a blackberry or in that shape, I wouldn't trust. And the only reason
Yeah.
I would trust the raspberry blackberry, shape is because I know what those look like when they grow naturally, and it's survival. I would have to try it, but any other berry, I would not have the balls to munch on.
Yeah.
As far as hunting things goes, I do know rabbits and squirrels. There's no problems with how to skin. I could figure out how to prepare. I don't know. I would probably just do the classic run a stick through it, roll it over a fire until it looks done. Actually, because of the way that I am, I don't trust things very easily. So I
Hmm.
would probably burn the hell out of everything I'm about to eat.
Yeah,
Because,
like it's well done, but I'm not gonna die of food
yeah,
poisoning.
right, exactly. Um,
They watch everything you do. I don't want to be the tribute who's got the runs because he ate something
yeah,
wrong
I
for
was about
everyone
to
to
say that.
watch.
Can you imagine how awful it would be to have the runs running away for your life?
Oh my God, no.
Ugh. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know what I'd be willing to do. Especially when they release those fucking Hell Beast things, dude.
I feel like that's cheating. Of course, that's the whole point. But yeah, no, I don't think I wouldn't even know where to go. I'd panic. Because like that's one of my things. I don't like being chased.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I hate that scene in I Am Legend where he's got to run out of the building and
Oh,
it's
God.
dark. Like that's my
Yeah,
worst. That's my worst nightmare. So be chased by those fucking things.
yeah.
I'd be done. Then yeah, then you've got like, I mean, you could avoid some of the other things, but they've got all these weird different animals that just make things
Mm-hmm.
worse for everybody, like the tracker jackers, and yeah, no, I just
Yeah.
and then of course that's not even touching that's I feel like of the ones we are aware of, that's the tamest Hunger Games we've
For real.
seen because they reference other ones, and one we get a little bit of footage from is like one of the destroyed cities.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that'd be better or worse because I feel like in my case there'd be more places to hide, but then
Yeah.
there's less things to use to survive.
As long as it's
There's
not the
no
Arctic. That one's fucked
yeah.
up.
See that I'd step off. I'm not. I don't want to. That's
I don't want to freeze to death.
and then like then in the second one, the environment is nicer and they find ways to get water and whatnot. But then that's the next step up, like the sci-fi fantasy stuff. There's force fields evil monkeys. It rains blood. Like
Yeah.
that's stuff that no one is prepared for.
Yeah. I think to sum this one up and move on, both of us, well, you would excel at getting um, the hearts of the
Sponsors.
people, getting sponsors. That's what it is. We would both hide and wait and just do what needed to be done, maybe. Um, and I would excel at staying quiet, staying out of the way. And I've got good eyesight, I've got good ears, and I would use that to just stay as far away from it as I could. Count the
Right
cannons
on.
and wait till the end.
Ooh, yeah. Ugh. Hunger Games.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got?
Yeah, so the one that I got that I thought about after I watched a video a couple days ago, but I was reminded of it when you were talking about Pacific Rim. What is your favorite sci-fi armor or mech suit?
Ooh. Okay, can you be a little more specific?
I'm gonna say anything in sci-fi that is designed to either protect the person inside it or enhance the person inside its abilities. So it can be something full on Iron Man suit, or it can be something as low as Stormtrooper armor.
Huh.
Anything sci fi that is designed to be worn to either enhance abilities or protect the user.
Okay. Um,
Any scale.
I have to pick one.
I mean, you don't have to. We kind of talk about this shit. That's our deal.
That's fair. Okay. Um, Crap, I don't there's a lot that I like, and several
Yeah.
of them are just superhero based.
Yeah. The only thing that I will say as a stipulation is it has to be something that can be taken off
Okay.
and it has to cover most of the body. I'm not going to say it has to be like a full body thing, like because if you think about it, Stormtrooper armor is not really full body. They have the
Right.
holes where the jumpsuit is, so it just has to be the majority of the body, and can be taken off. So cyborg doesn't count, stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Fair. Um, are we talking functionality or visually, like an aesthetic?
Both. I mean,
Both.
let's start with the first one. We'll go functionality. Which one would you bring to a fight?
Functionality?
Yeah, you versus me, no holds barred. Which would you take?
Okay, if it's
I gotta think of
just
one.
okay. Unless the Jaegers come with the suits that the pilots wear, which I'm imagining don't, because those are something different.
Hmm.
My go-to is one of the last two Iron Man suits, the nanotech, the liquid
Okay,
nanotech with all the added weapons, and it
I
just
hate them both, but yeah.
seamlessly. I know, but like I love it. The fact that it just fits over you, and it just reacts to thought.
Hmm.
That easily that I feel like it's simple, it's safe. Like I like that one. It's got all the bells and whistles, and I love it. So you do yours, and then while you do that, I'm gonna think of my visually aesthetic one.
Yeah. Um. Hmm. This is where I put a lot of thought into the question and the visual part. I've got a couple answers for that.
Mhm.
Um. Yeah, but for the mechanics,
I'm gonna start naming some, unless that's gonna distract you, just to get some out
no,
there.
I've got mine. I've got mine.
Oh, okay. So you go ahead
Uh,
with the functionality one.
yeah, the bounty hunter suit that Samus wears from Metroid.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because
That one looks cool.
it looks cool. It's probably honestly, well, I don't know. It might stand up to Iron Man. It can't fly, but it has like a shit ton of missiles and stuff that are
Hmm.
super powerful. And I figure if she can take down a dragon, there may be something she can do against Iron
Yeah,
Man.
that's pretty good. I
Yeah.
like that.
Though I don't understand how she can turn into the ball. Um,
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know if I'm flexible enough to handle that, but yeah, I think that would be my choice functionally. So
Hmm.
visually,
Visually,
mine's less a suit and more just a full-on aesthetic that I would want to bring outside of its own world.
uh-huh.
I think 2008 is when it was made, the 2008 Tron
Oh,
with those helmets and the discs on the
yeah.
back.
No, I love those. I love the whole aesthetic of that movie. Like, I don't
Yeah.
even care that people think it's a bad movie. I love the world that movie
Yes.
made.
Yeah,
Like, that's cool.
I like those suits. I like the disc weapons. I always love like thrown weapons that return to you.
Hmm.
That's always a favorite of mine. So if we could push that out into a different setting where it's unique and not normal, that would be my style choice, I think. I know it's
Oh,
less of a mech suit, but more sci-fi, but it fits my rules. So
yeah. Okay, I got one,
hmm
and it's purely visual because
yes,
I think you're going to be a little disappointed in me.
okay.
Um, I don't know why, but I love it. I love watching them be applied to the people who wear them, and I just think they look cool. The suits from the latest Power Ranger movie to
Oh, the
me
weird one.
looked. I thought yes, it was very weird, but I thought it looked dope when, especially the red one, when the red guy his comes on, and it's like I
hmm
love the suits that grow around people.
Yeah, me
I
too.
love Black Panther's suit. I love those last two Iron Man suits. Like, I love the suits that grow because I just feel like it gets rid of so many issues with, like, it's one of the most laughable things in Ant-Man where he puts on that leather suit in 5 seconds.
hmm
Like, no. And like that was a whole Mythbusters episode where they tested how long does it take to change into a suit in a phone booth. But like when you just hit a button and the thing grows around you, love it. And the fact that it was silver and metallic and the reds
hmm
looked like ruby, like I love the look of that suit. Horrible movie. No offense to Power Ranger fans. It was horrible. Worst product placement I've ever seen in a movie. But like the T-Rex red looking Power Ranger suit with that with the stoic face part that I still don't think makes any sense at all, but it looks awesome. That black mask, ugh, love it. Absolutely love it. But that's my take on the visual one.
So my weird thing with armors and stuff, I like when armor looks solid,
Hmm.
but not clunky. I like slim armor, and
Yeah.
I think the last two Iron Man suits would do better with me if it wouldn't. It's still segmented to look like a plate mail,
Hmm.
but it's all flexible, like the shoulders move and stuff. I
Hmm.
think that's a little much for me. I like when the armor's solid. Um, so I absolutely love the concept of growing armor.
Uh-huh.
I just like when it's done in that like sort of almost bug like way, the carapace like way, where it grows on and clicks into place. It's the plates that grow and then chunk,
Oh,
chunk, 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 chunk down the
kind
shoulder
of like
pads.
we see that maybe like I don't know if you've seen it, but in like Transformers 2, that there's that scene where like all these little tiny ball robots crawl up to each other and then they flatten into that weird.
I think easiest example is Iron Man 2, his briefcase suit.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
Other than the Civil War suit, that is my favorite suit.
Yeah. Because it holds the properties of the metals, which feels a lot stronger than the nanotech that you see. For me, personally. It's just
Yeah,
my
and like
choice.
that
But
the mask is like 8 pieces, but it comes together seamlessly.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So now I've missed it. Did you say what your you did say what your
Tron.
visual one is? Right, right.
Tron.
Got off
The
on a tangent
second
there.
second option, which I have thought about a lot, it's a close between these two. If I were going for a more armored look, it's the Jedi armor from Rebels, the
Hmm.
Jedi Temple Guard armor, including the mask.
Oh,
Favorite
okay.
mask of all time. The
Yes, I know
armor's
you love those masks.
yeah. The it hardly counts as a mech suit or anything in this category because it's just a chest piece, shoulder pads, wrist gauntlets, and I think some leg pads. Um, but you know, if it's a sci-fi suit that we're talking about, that's probably my favorite armored one. But favorite overall look goes to the 2008 Tron. I'm gonna keep saying 2008, even if it's not. I think it is though.
It's either that or even earlier.
Yeah.
But if we have a second one,
hmm
okay. See this suit again is a purely visual one because it does
Yeah.
nothing. If you could add powers to it, I'd love it. But like both suits for Gypsy Danger in Pacific Rim, the white one and then later the black one, I
hmm
love it. I think especially the white one, I just think it looks cool with those like weird big boots and they've got the eagles on the shoulders and they got like the full helmet, but like the screen, like the glass screen for the face of those unlimited visibility. That's the thing you never see really explored in movies, except it's a joke in Star Wars with all the helmets. Like
Yeah.
I have an Ant-Man helmet and it's got the same eyes as the real Ant-Man helmet. You can't
Yeah.
see
Not a
shit.
thing.
There's a massive face part that's right where your nose is, and like you can't look down.
And it's
So
super
like
uncomfortable to wear.
it is like it's like to have like unlimited visibility is awesome. So like those
Agreed.
white suits and then those black suits look dope. But like they don't do anything. They just connect to the giant robot, which is the cool part.
Mhm. Cool. I think we got all the mileage out of that one that we can.
Probably. I have kind of one that we could kind of like segue into.
Okay, go for it.
We're
Hit it.
like uh not full on suits, but like I don't even know how to put because now I'm starting to feel that it's 1 o'clock.
Hmm.
So okay. A lot of Spider-Man's villains, Sinister Six characters, have applications. They do not have powers, they do not have full suits, but they have wings or octopus arms or a scorpion tail
Okay,
or
yeah.
like
So
if of
additions.
yes, across the sci-fi world, additions that aren't entire armors,
A
which
sci-fi tool.
yes, but it's like you have to it's like something you have to wear or it's something that has to be applied
Yeah,
to
something
you.
big
And
enough.
it could be permanent or not, but I'm gonna not count things like Bucky's arm, things that
Okay.
totally replace
Okay.
things. So it can't be stuff like that.
Has to be an addition.
Yes.
And it has to be something significant enough that it can't be concealed. Do you want to say that? Because like uh
Yeah.
Goblin's hoverboard thing,
I don't know if I
I would count that for this.
yeah, okay, yeah, I would
Yeah.
count that. But that could also be considered almost a mode of transportation.
I think it's significant enough to the character.
Okay, we'll count that one. Now let
Yeah.
me think, because a lot of these are Spider-Man, but I know there's others in the world of
Yeah. Yeah, I
anything
gotta think
else.
too.
Got to put myself in a situation like a child. What do I want to use? What would I enjoy doing? This is so dumb, but like I really like Shocker's arm piece. Like
Hmm.
it was Crossbones' arm piece first, and then the Tinkerer took it and he applies the electric blast to it. But just being that dude and just having a simple arm piece and you can hit a car and it flips. I've always loved that. But like
Yeah.
if I walked into a closet and had all the options, I'd pick the fucking vulture wing. But just
But yeah,
when
of
I think
course.
the one I think about the most, just as a fun thing to use, is that one because it just looks so cool when they activate it. Because you throw your arm down and it clicks and it buzzes, and I love it. Because I'm not picking Spider-Man 2 Doctor Octopus arms. I don't want
No.
65 needles in my spine. Like why would you design it like that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing that I hate about that is like, you know how much weight is being like torqued on your back with those?
Yeah. Well, see,
That's
I
gotta
thought
suck.
about that for a long time, and like I got to the point where like, okay, this movie's stupid because he
Hmm.
can't lift the things he lifts, and he can't throw the things he throws because the weight that the arms are picking up would then be
On
transferred
his
down to
legs?
his legs. But then upon rewatching it, they were actually detailed enough to include that every time he picks something up, the two bottom legs are supporting it. So it's not actually him who's holding it up. And I applaud the
Yeah.
attention to detail, but still, he's a normal dude who takes several punches to the face from Spider Man. He's dead.
Do all four of those go straight into his back, or is there like a bag thing or a housing?
They don't, there's no housing. Like, they can kind of retract into shorter versions, but like
Hmm.
the shortest they can be is like, it looks like 4 feet.
Hmm.
But no, like they've got the part that wraps around his waist, and then the spine part, like so it connects like a belt on his waist.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I guess some of the weight of the arms themselves go to like his hips, but then it's also connected to his spine,
Right.
which is
Yeah. You could have done one cable to your brainstem to get the same thing.
seriously, it was yeah. But yeah, it was cool that they paid attention to detail when it came to the way that they would support things and pick things up. It's like when he rips the safe out of the wall,
Hmm.
two arms do that. Two of them hold him in place on the ground. So it's they're doing all the work.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I need to get more nerd shit in here. Everything I have is Star Wars, Nintendo, or D&D.
Well, that's the sad thing about not living together. I've got all the other stuff.
Yeah.
What other weird additions are there? I know there are more.
My brain keeps going to weapons, and that's just not what we're talking about right now.
Right. I keep going back to exosuits.
Oh, you know what?
What?
This may count. I don't even know what they're called. The grappling hook things from Attack on Titan.
Oh, I would say those absolutely count because it's not quite a weapon and it's not a
Yeah,
suit. Yeah, that would absolutely count.
I think those could be fun
I
in
think
like
it
a
would make.
Spider-Man kind of sense.
I feel like somehow those would make me sick, whereas Spider-Man wouldn't.
They're a little faster. They're a little like zippier.
They're yanking you around.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would say those would count.
they're interesting. I don't know if I would want those. Those are just like something out of the box that I was able to come up with.
Yeah, I like the sound effects they use, but that's about it when it comes to those. Star-Lord has a lot of little applications, I suppose. There's a lot of application things in the spacey world. Rocket's jetpack, that's a good one.
Does it have to be techie?
I mean, I guess not. I didn't specify techie.
Uh, Doctor Strange's cloak.
Ah, damn. Now I want to redo mine. That's a good one. That is a really good one.
Yeah, that's mine. Absolutely. If we're allowing magic, then
Crap. If we're allowing magic, then yeah, that is a good one. Yeah. All right. Good. And okay, now I think I have my closing question.
okay.
It's pretty straightforward because like I'm feeling it.
Hmm.
So, Vulture's wings or
Yes.
Falcon's wings?
Ooh, Falcon.
Really? Because I was thinking Vulture because like Falcon can't hover a whole lot.
No.
Like Vulture's is a little more
Yeah, it's helicopter
elegant.
versus airplane kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Um, I purely aesthetically, I would pick vultures.
Oh yeah. Well,
No,
you can
excuse me.
walk inside with Vulture
Hmm.
with the Falcons, but
Yeah, I meant falcons. I would pick falcons aesthetically, simply because I like sleek and smaller,
yeah.
and vulture has the like big bulky thing going on.
Hmm.
Um, but when it comes to flight, again, I like the swiftness, the elegance that Falcon can provide. We see him flying in and out of buildings,
Hmm.
where Vulture has to be in open skies, otherwise he can't fly because it takes so
Right.
much space and it's so difficult to maneuver.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I would say Falcon.
See, I feel like if I'm putting myself in these,
Hmm.
I don't feel like I could react quick enough to do Falcons. I mean, if I picked one, if I'm like I've got all the abilities and I'm not gonna die, Falcon 100%. Like it's not even a competition.
Yeah.
But if it's me and I have an option to have one of these suits and it's a little dumbed down to where I can control it, Vultures has a little bit of an exoskeleton. It's got like the legs and the arms.
It's more user friendly.
Yeah, whereas Falcons is like, I mean, I don't like to hate on my superheroes, but there's like one of the coolest parts of like one of just the coolest scenes in the show. He jumps out of a plane and he's just free falling, and then he
Hmm.
activates his wings and he takes off. I'm like, how do you not get whiplash every time you open those things? You're exposed out there. Like Vulture even had like a breathing apparatus, but Falcon's just out and about with goggles. And
Yeah.
I feel like I'd put on that backpack, I'd jump off a building, activate those wings, I'd snap
Pass
my
out.
neck.
And
Yeah, like
yeah.
I'm just dead like immediately. So I'd have to go Vulture.
I get, yeah, I mean, Falcons is designed for somebody who's trained for it. Vultures is designed for anyone who can wear it. So I think
Yeah.
in that regard, Vulture would be the best for any one of us because like it's just the one that is made for that kind of thing.
Hmm.
But assuming you knew how to fly whatever you're flying, then I would take Falcons.
Ooh, just thinking, like, what if you had like the same rocket
Hmm.
pack kind of thing, but then like Batman's cape from the Dark Knight. Like
Ooh.
it's just fabric and you run a current through it and it's like so you've got the wings but they're lighter.
What if we switch that?
Okay.
We have the rocket pack. but instead we have Batman Beyond's wings that can be taken away and
Ooh. Oh, I like that.
yeah,
Batman and Falcon. Falcon.
Falcon.
Falcon Bat. Falcon.
Foul man.
Foul Man?
Foul man.
Falcon Batman?
There's something here. Foul man.
I don't, I really don't know if there is. But I think I'm
Bacon.
Bat,
Bacon.
Ooh,
Oh.
bacon. On that note, I feel like we should probably say goodnight, say goodbye to our people. We started and spent a great deal of time on apocalypses, and we ended on bacon.
We talked about bacon last week.
We did. We kind of talk about food every week, and we're probably gonna continue that because I have food questions for later.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got some too. I've got some
Um,
non-food questions. We'll get to them.
I have some non-food questions, but like there's always gonna be food questions. If you guys have food topics or non-food topics, you just throw those down in that little comment section.
Yeah, eventually if we
And
get enough of them, we'll make them like a segment.
heck yeah,
We'll take a couple questions and
we'll just read your questions. We'll make that a video. We'll just read your questions and answer them because
yeah, and
we're good
we're
people.
like when we say that, we're open to opinion questions or scientific questions. Like if
Yes.
it's we when we were thinking about this concept for the podcast, one of the idea questions we had to sort of base our podcast off of was who would win in a fight, Yoda or Harry Potter?
Uh-huh. And we still
And
haven't addressed it yet. We're
we'll
saving
address
that one
that.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get to that one. But that's something that like that has nothing to do with opinion. That's purely nerd science. Hit us with
Yes.
that too.
Oh yeah, because he's real versed in Star Wars, and I'm not unaware of Star Wars, but like we both have a fair knowledge of Star Wars and Harry Potter, but I feel like we'll find little loopholes and things that we don't.
Yes.
We have I don't even know what point I'm making. You're well versed in Star Wars. I'm well versed in Harry Potter. You have an understanding of the Force, and I have an understanding of that magic for the
Hmm.
most part.
Yeah, I
So
think the general rule of thumb is we're both huge nerds who started our nerd journeys at different locations.
yes,
So if there's something nerdy, one of us will know about it.
typically, yeah.
So anything you got,
Just you just throw those questions down there.
absolutely. We
I've
got Andrew's Instagram,
Yeah,
Andrew's what else do you have?
the TikTok
The
one.
TikTok. That's down there
TikTok.
in the description. And we're gonna start throwing my YouTube channel, Dallin's
Heck
Tavern.
yeah. Yes, he
Um,
does really cool D&D things, y'all.
yeah, there's not a lot up there yet. We're working on it,
We're
but
getting there.
yeah, it's D&D homebrew stuff if you're into that, and there's gonna be other, stories and stuff. Maybe even a D&D podcast eventually. We'll
Eventually,
see
yeah.
what goes
And
on.
like I might do a movie podcast eventually. We're new to this world.
Yeah, but at the moment, right now, Andrew's Instagram, SpooksDoodles2020.
Yes.
Andrew's TikTok, SpooksDoodles. That's it.
I think it's, yeah, I don't think there's a number on that one.
Cool. That one's down there. And Dallin's Tavern, YouTube link. They're all down there. Check us out.
Yes. Or check us out. Wink wink. Actually no, I'm taken. Sorry. I forgot.
What are you fucking talking? Oh,
You said check us out. I was like, yeah, you check
I
us
mean,
out.
high enough price, and we'll make some deals.